Y'all better not have made a nest again. Oh, hey. Welcome back to Bullford 82. This is the first time I've been out here working on stuff in over a week. I've been sick. Got the old sinus thing. You guys got cobwebs over here. Stupid cobwebs. Anyways, if I sound a little nasally, it's because I got a frickin' cold. Or a sinus thing. We had a temperature swing, and then it got cold, and I was out here working on this, like off camera, and all of a sudden I'm just... I had a bloody nose yesterday, and recovering from that. Anywho's, I'm gonna wire up the gauges for this thing. I'm gonna show you a couple things on the gauges. I'm gonna show you a couple things on the gauges where I tap for power and whatnot. Squeak! Kiki! Morgano! Come here, you little squeaker. I'm a little squeaker here. So anyways, I'm going to show you a couple things where I'm going to tap for power under the dash and probably piss you guys off with what I'm going to do to the dash top. If it wasn't obvious in the last video, this is where the gauges are going to sit. Yeah, that's where they're sitting. I actually think I'm going to go run to the hardware store, pick up some small screws for this. I think probably someone. Actually, I think I have screws. Never mind. I'm gonna go dig for them. Anyways, yeah. So what's gonna happen is, see where the speaker panel on this is all cracked up. Well, because that area gets all cracked up on these trucks, what I've decided to go ahead and do, and it's what I did to the other truck, although I did it a little bit more haphazardly. Here, you know what? Let me show you. I know I parked the wrong way. I kind of didn't care. So here's old Betty. This has got a 4BT Cummins in it. And here I have oil pressure, voltages, EGTs, boost, and water temp. And they all go through the rotted speaker hole. Now, I didn't do it as clean on this truck because this truck is not really a show truck. I try to keep it halfway decent looking, but I also don't want it to look too fancy. Everything all neat inside and perfect panels and whatnot. You know, who wants to steal an old junk truck, right? Crap. This one. This is the junk truck. This one I'm gonna do a little bit nicer. Speaking of nicer, I'm probably gonna take this off and send it to someone who can actually do a better job at powder coating. I'd actually like to get it powder coated the same color as this. Anyways, I'd ideally like to get this whole truck painted eventually, but I ain't doing that, that's for sure. If I run across some money, I might take it to a decent shop and have them paint it. I got some interior working. Anyways, we got squirrel mode going on here. Anyways, in this truck, we got volts, wideband, oil pressure, and water. They're all gonna go through there, but I'm going to take a piece of plastic that I have sitting around. We're gonna cut a little square out. And I believe I might have some tan paint and we can paint that piece of plastic because it is naturally black. So if we paint it and then just screw it down there on the dash, that would clean that up and it would look halfway decent. And this is a halfway decent dash pad. It's not perfect. It's got its issues, but I want this interior to stay looking halfway decent. I mean, look at this thing. The only real blemish in the interior is probably that whiteout painted on XLT logo and then that little bit down there. What are you squeaking for? Where'd you go? Squeaky, you wanna come in? Kiki, you wanna explore? Again? You wanna go inside? Oh, that's right, the back door isn't open. Anyways, I'm gonna take care of Squeaker here, and I'm gonna open up that window. It's getting warm in here. I'm actually comfortable, but it is getting a little warm. So, I've got this bundle here. These are all my gauges. This is gonna be water temp, 2 leads. I've got, one is the O2, or the wideband, another is the oil pressure, and then we have vacuum. This, I'm gonna wrap up into some Gumball Super 33 electrical tape. And probably some, no, I'll probably just wrap it in electrical. And then the wideband comes with this little box here. This is the harness going to the O2 sensor, which goes to the firewall, down, and to where I'm putting my O2, which it comes with a well done bung, so I feel a bit happy about that. I don't have to wait on any parts. Plugs into this little box. This box here has just one power lead. This is going to get power from where I'm going to tap into it here in a moment. And this goes to the gauge. So we just need to strap this somewhere into the dash securely, preferably not dangling like that yellow connector. And then we're good to go. So I'm going to work on looming this up. I'm just making sure I've got all my stuff here. Oh, this has a, I think this is the thing for it. It has an output. It looks like a 3-wire. But the dealio we get here is a 2-wire that plugs in there, so I don't know. Anyways, that would go to like your computer or your like Sniper EFI. So that's kind of cool. We might be able to use it later and not have to swap out stuff for add anything, because we already got a nice Bosch O2 sensor. It's like an OEM deal. So, and of course that other end of that connector just goes to here. So I'll figure out where I want to put that, and then I think wiring this might actually come up cleaner than I did it on the other truck. It just kind of spaghettied it all in there. You know, a lot of people get intimidated about electrical, and they end up using like no electrical tape, household wire nuts, and then they wonder why their gauges don't work. Well, it requires patience, and you know, if you don't have the patience, don't be doing no wiring. So what I'm saying is just stop whining. That was a pretty good Arnold impression. I'm trying to hold you down right here. I have never taken this dash top off before, so this is going to be a first for me and you with this truck. So we got one screw there. Try not to lose them. I think we got one. Nope. I think it's just this one right here. I think it is too. I haven't had a dash top off of one of these in a little while, so. Okay, and then there's two along the, or two right here. These hold the radio up. Or the radio bezel, I should say. And this can actually come off at that point. Because we're going to be popping the radio out too. I'm kind of thinking about getting a double dent in here. The one that I put in my Subaru has proven to be pretty decent for the price. So we got to look at how we want to do that. We got to hog this out, obviously, but that gets my heart going. There's three along here. I know I've had this out because I put LEDs in the dash so I could actually see. I hate trying to figure out which one goes. I mean, I'll eventually screw in somewhere. So, and there's 4 along the top here. Try not to get these in the vent. You don't want to be like, well, I guess you could be worse. You could be getting M&Ms down the vent.
Oh, come on, damn it! Oh, that sounds good. Melted chocolate inside the dash. That really ups the resale value.
I think you're gonna be okay here. They have a thin candy shell. Surprised you didn't know that.
But once these go down there, you're never getting them out. I don't know if there's no way of telling if this dash top's ever been out. But I think it has because I think I took it out. I don't know. I don't remember. She just comes out like that. And voila. No, I have had it out before. I was okay, I lied, tubes. I had it out because I was definitely here. I taped this all up. I wanted to figure out why the door dinger would only work with the key in, but it would never work with the headlights were on. So, oh, yeah, that's been on there for 30 years. And this is an 85, so 95 is 10, 20. Oh, yeah, it's 38 years old, Jimmy. All right. Oh, dude, look at this thing. This is huge. All for nothing, too. I needed this out anyways for the electrical connections. I think we have there's some kind of filter thing there. I'm gonna have to hook the Subaru up to this so I can have some battery power. Come here, come to Papa. All right, so you can totally do this any other way you want. But what I'm gonna do for power to my gauges, I'm going to take from this cab, ground, and power. I've done the same thing with the 82 over there. This is going to run our gauges, and this is more than enough to run the gauges. This is running a cigarette lighter that would short out for the cigarette lighter. So this has got enough power. I think this is on like a 20 amp circuit. This is also already fused. It does have full-time, this is full-time battery power. So that's perfect for our gauges. For a later date, we got our speaker wires isolated. We don't need this for now. Kind of just lay that in there somewhere. Come back to that. This connector we just undid. So that's power. We got beautiful power right there. And again, that's already on a fuse. That click scared me for a second. I thought I got shocked. I was like, ah! So we've got good power and ground. That is working. Because what we want to see next is if we have some kind of key on here. So what's our blue? Nothing. Nothing. Green is power. We could also use green for some kind of power. So if I turn on the lights, which do we have? Yeah, we got headlightage. Blue with the purple stripe. So check that out. See how the test light's lit? And then I turn the lights off. That's our dimmer. I don't know what yellow does. Yellow, if I had to guess, is going to be accessory. Oh, don't want to do that. We're going to splooge gas everywhere. Okay. So the green with the yellow is a constant power. And then blue is our blue with the purple stripe is going to be the dimmer. And then the yellow is the key on, or accessory. Yeah. Okay. So it's gonna come on when we turn our gauges on. There we go. We're gonna tie our vacuum line in here too, because this is going to come up right around here and then lay over. And I tape them up just so that they're like a little bit of a taper. A taper. Also make a little tag there. And then what we'll do here is we'll take this piece of wire, kind of squish that down a little bit. And we'll tape it up. This is the fun part about this wiring stuff. It takes time. I need to get all these gauges hooked up and working. Because I think probably tomorrow or later this weekend, I'm gonna be we're gonna be doing the rest of this video and we're gonna be running this engine. There we go. Check that out. Here we got our harness. Wow, that's nice and clean. And this is coming through the EFI pass-through. Alright, welcome back. It's been a few days later, actually about a week since I last worked on this truck. In this video, I got sick with allergy stuff and I was just a hot mess. I didn't do anything. Thankfully I was already out of work, so I didn't, I just got to stay home and rest, you know. Cat, don't you be coming in and then wanting out and then coming in and then wanting out. I'm gonna kick your ass. In fact, go on, get out. Get. Anywhoos, I'm gonna do what everybody hates that I do. To the dash pad. Yep, smells like 80s. You see, we're gonna cut that out. I think I'm gonna use the death wheel. I'm gonna cut this out. Actually, you know, I really don't even need to cut it out. We just need this hole right here. It's where our wires are gonna go through. That really made my work easier. However, I'm still going to cut out a piece of plastic probably in the shape of that speaker hole. And I'm gonna paint it to match the color of this dash. So it'll cover this up. It, you know, won't be so ugly to look at. And then this crack here is mostly gonna be covered up by our gauge pod. So I think we'll be doing pretty good there. I may actually end up getting one of those dash carpet kits just to preserve this a little bit more. And honestly, this being kind of glossy, well, was glossy, the reflection off the off of this and onto the window is not cool. So carpet kit I think is going to be in this truck's future. It'll be fairly easy to put on this one. Simmer down over there. By the way, it's 5:30 in the morning. People are just wide open throttle. That's okay, because here in a few hours we're going to be hugging a bucket over here with the 306. Well, shoot, I think I can actually put this back on the dash. Actually, you gotta drill a couple holes here. 2 holes, one for cable and then one for the vacuum port for the gauge pod. So I got to do that. I might just drill one big hole and, you know, call our day. Just do like a 1/2 inch hole, run the gauge and the cabling through, and then, you know, yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. I might loosely put this back in the dash and just kind of see where everything fits, and then I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna attach the. Oh crap! I need to order the pod for here. I'll do that here in a minute. Feeling down. I can ease your pain. Need some information first. There is no pain you are receiving. A distant ship smoke on the horizon. You are only coming through in waves. Your lips move, but I can't hear what you're saying. When I was a cowboy, I had a fleeting glimpse. Okay, I'm done. Wrong lyrics too. I found these random speaker screws in my electrical bucket of misery. Pre-drill with an 1/8 inch thingy. Cool. Took the gauges out because I also need to go and kind of open these up just slot them a little bit so the wider connectors will fit in, and we're good to go. Hate it all you want, but that's where I like my gauges. Not in a gauge pod. Screw gauge pods. Pillar mounted gauge pods. All right, I have made some progress. I'm done with the gauges with the exception of a pod. I'm waiting for that, and then this wiring here. Oh, I'm gonna have to drill that hole a little bit bigger. Yeah. Anywho's, yeah, this needs to get. It needs a pod right here. This is just the vacuum gauge. But we got volts, wideband, oil pressure, water temp. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. To be perfectly honest, look at this nice little loop. Remember in the last video, the water temp was reading 300 degrees? Well, I think I didn't have that plugged in all the way, so now it's working fine. I have the O2 sensor plugged in, so it's not throwing a code anymore. I'm borrowing a battery from a friend's truck that's broken at the moment, so that's fully charged. It's at almost 13 volts, so I'm good there. But yeah, our water temp's working good there, so no problem with the sensor. I think it was just the plug in the back. I didn't have it in all the way. 20. So, and of course, this is not hooked up. Cool, got everything. Yeah, I'm not putting the old radio back in. We're ixnaying that. Yeah, that one is getting ixnayed. I'm thinking about putting a double din in here, which really is gonna require trimming this. This thing's already kind of broken, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'll get my little Dremel. When I get the radio that I'm gonna put in here, we'll mark out where we need to trim, and then we'll just carefully trim it, clean it up, make it look good, and then figure out what we need to trim back here to get the radio in, and make some kind of mounting bracket, which I think we're gonna make out of some thin like sheet metal or something. And then I'll have a double din in here with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so I'll have navigation right here, and I'll probably end up doing the same thing to old Betty over there, because I want a double din radio. I'm done with these single dins with no navigation. I love having the touch screen and stuff. It's pretty nice, and I can plug into the radio with my phone, and it'll charge and play media through that as well. So I like having that in my vehicles. I have it in my Subaru, which is around the corner, my 99 Subaru Forester, and then I got it in my 2017 Fusion. I want to have it in my trucks. I don't care what anyone says. If you want your vintage radio, that's right down here. You can have it. That giant brick that does just AM, FM, and eats up cassettes. So, yep. You know, the wiring's kind of nice, and there's no rat's nest. No rat's nest. And I have these wires. I didn't loom up all the way because I'm going to be tapping back into that for the radio, and I got that green wire back there as power to the radio. This truck is going to end up getting a whole sound system, and I've got some new like OBS style interior quarter trim I'm going to pop out and and it's got speakers for the back, so I'm going to put those in. And I still got an amp and probably a couple of subs in the back, and I think this is going to be freaking sweet. Well, welcome back. I am working under the engine bay, figuring out what I need, what I'm missing, and so far I'm a little relieved because I found something I was missing, and I thought I was going to have to wait on it. I could not find my distributor hold down, and I looked all over the place. I looked all over the garage. I'm like, what the hell? Where is this thing? I come over here to remove the ratchet strap I had to keep this out of the way. This kaplunks down to the corner of the fender. Bolt and tab together. I'm like, okay, I don't know why it was over there, but anyways, I've got it. So far my to get list when the places start opening up, because right now it is, what time do we got? 7:32, so Napa will be open soon. I need to get another carb gasket because the extra one that I have no idea where it went. I need two because I have a excuse me, I have a 1-inch phenolic spacer in here for a couple of reasons. One is heat transfer. Second one is just to get it up off the intake, and it puts my throttle linkage at a perfectly good height. And that's another thing I got to screw down too, and I'm gonna do that here in a minute. As soon as I step out of the house, my allergies kicked in. Anyways, I'm missing some AC pump screws. I have no idea why. I don't know why I'm missing her. I had it all on that table in one towel. Everything that we took off of here, all the brackets and stuff. So I need 4 feet, 5/8 heater hose, because I am out. So getting that new piece in there. then we can hook that up, and then what I'm gonna do is actually get the garden hose, and we're gonna fill this thing up completely with water. I got my lower heater hose on, not heater hose, but radiator hose on. I got the upper. I got this heater hose hooked up. I just need to get a new piece here. Get that tightened down on there. I got to fill the transmission up with ATF. Uh-oh! Look what I'm putting in! Ah, wow! 4 quarts. Smells like ATF. This is what this transmission calls for. Someone was actually, I don't know if they were trolling me, but they were like, no, you're supposed to be putting gear oil in that. You're an idiot and this and that. I'm like, dude, these call for ATF. I'll be putting gear oil in them. I think the thickest oil you can run is that Pennzoil Synchro Mesh, but just run Merc 5. Got me an intake carbonator gasket from the NAPA, part number 1900 from the old Felpros. This one is fat. Which is fine, because reasons. Cool. I'm going to actually snug that down and get the fuel line attached. Napa came in handy again. My Napa anyways. I got all new bolts for the AC pump. Brand new hardware. Yeah, I'm just shy of replacing the rest of the fasteners on this thing, minus the rod fasteners and main bearings. We're well past that part, but there isn't much for standard Ford fasteners anymore on this engine, which is fine because a lot of the stuff matches now. I've got this ground cable that used to be hooked to the intake manifold. I'm not doing that no more because I'm running ARP fasteners on there and I want them to be uninterrupted with any other random stuff. So what I'm choosing to do is run the ground cable on this back stud where the carburetor mounts. And it'll be kind of out of the way and you won't really see it. So, also, I don't know if you guys know this, but I changed the inlet for my carburetor. It comes in through the back. And I'm running an electric pump. They keep calling those clicky-clack pumps, those Edelbrocks, but they're not clicky-clacks. They're actual vane pumps. But anyways, that's what's, I got, that is what's primarily feeding the carburetor, but I have the intake pumps on this truck feed that pump. So that pump, all it has to do is push fuel. So I've ran that for quite a while now, and it's been working out pretty good so far anyways. And it's mounted just how the factory pump is, so it's set up where air will bleed out fairly easily and hopefully maximize life of the pumpulator. So yeah, this guy right here, we're gonna take it and we're gonna put him right there. Alright, so I finally bought something. I got the Lone Wolf 5000 or 6000 or whatever. We just hooked that up to the Steel Me junction. It's not necessarily a Steel Me junction, but close. Yeah. Hopefully this battery holds out. What I'm doing is I'm setting base timing. I'm shooting for, I think what I'm going to do is kind of do what they were talking about online. We're going to shoot for 0, top center. But what I got to do is I got to get my finger down here, put it over a spark plug hole, and feel for a compression. Once that compression comes up, I'm going to stop and see where my timing mark is and get it right on 0, and then we'll adjust the distributor once we get it running. That was a compression stroke right there. Okay. Here we got number 1. We got number 4. Number 3. Number 2. We're all plugged in. I got my distributor hold down on there loosely. We got some pretty good movement there. So we're at 0 top center, compression stroke, which I believe we're supposed to be at. And then we have this, the rotor's pointing at the number 1 cylinder loosely. So that should theoretically be enough to let this thing run. Okay, we got number 8. Plugged in. Did I put that plug? Oh, got to plug number 1 back in. I might actually get to drive this thing today. Come on, get on. Right on. Hits. Original gas cap. 38 years old. Just gonna give the old push. Whoa, this is scary. So we got open long tube headers. Open long tube headers. Oh shit. Okay, laugh all you want. Truck keys. I don't know if we're getting fuel. Oh, we're getting fuel. She might be flooded. Let's see. Let's go to the right a little bit. Maybe we'll go that way. I think they liked it the other way. Just kind of guessing. Alright, we're burning header paint. Alright, so I think... Oh my god. Okay, we got her to run. I think I need to go a little more that way with the timing. I might be a couple teeth off. What I might do is I'll let it cool down real quick and I'll reset the timing and we'll go for 10 instead of 0, and then we'll stab the distributor back in like I did. Yeah, because it's not one to... If I can get it to idle... No, I think it's the timing is a little bit off. We'll shoot for 10, which is what they normally go for. But once we actually get it to idle and run, we're going to need to set up fans and get cooling going. So, all right, I just let this run for a little bit. I actually just moved the distributor over a tiny bit more, and luckily I got plenty of length on my wires here. I was able to move it over a little bit more, and it idled on its own. Right now I'm bleeding the cooling system out. I let it run for maybe 10 minutes. In fact, I need to stop my timer. I had a timer going. Let's cancel that. So I was running for like 10-15 minutes, and then it started coming up on 220. So I shut her down. Let's see, what's our gauge reading right now? Yeah, she was getting up there. I was making 19 inches of mercury, so that's good. Carburetor I haven't really tuned, kind of haven't touched it at all. But we got some pretty good heat. I was checking the temperature on the headers. We're about 500 degrees across the board on every cylinder there. Absolutely no blow by. Okay, I think I purged all the air out. Can we take this out without dying? Check our oil here. Make sure it's not silver. It's right full, right where it needs to be. Still clean. no material on it, so I think we've legitimately had enough run time where the cam is probably gonna be fine. As long as it runs over 1,000 RPM for an extended period of time, it'll have time to break in. The cylinder heads have brand new valve springs in it, so I think we're actually going to be fine in the not having to replace springs department. I'm going to fire it back up for just a little bit, let it purge more air. The thermostat's kind of open, or actually it is, and I'm just going to keep purging it until we get no more air. We got a lot of air. Well, she's a squirter. Well, still purging air out of the system. I think it's getting less and less now. We're maintaining 192 on the temperature. We're making about 30 pounds of oil pressure at 1,000 RPM. I still got the RPM a little high because we're still breaking her in. So far I don't hear anything strange. It's as I'm idling it down and getting the timing adjusted, which I have it at 14 degrees. My jug's just about full here. I'm gonna have to go get my coolant sucker out of 9,000. Yeah, she's still bleeding. I'm gonna let it cool down, let it simmer down, and let it keep bleeding the air out. Yeah, pretty soon when it's done bleeding out, I'm gonna run it for a little bit, probably another 5-10 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and just change the oil. We'll put our VR1 racing oil in. Well, it looks like it has pretty much finished bleeding out. It took down almost half of that jug. It filled it all the way to the top here, and it took almost half of it. So, and this feels heavy again, so I think she's almost done bleeding out. Bleeding the air out. The only thing I got to do now is change the oil. So far, you know, we've put a lot of pressure on the cooling system, and I haven't seen any leaks yet. So I think I'm going to turn the garden hose off now. That smells good. Oh, that's a great sound. Just a little bit of air. We kind of don't have a whole lot now. Staying around 190. So, all right. I got my dipstick kind of mocked up there. I'm gonna either make a new bracket for it or get a whole new one. I think what I'm gonna do is get some black RTV and just gobbledygook that on there, push her back in and let it sit for a day or two. And all right, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the oil. I'm gonna drop it into this bin here, so I'll bring you back if I find anything. Yeah, well, I don't see no sparkly bits laying in here. It only had a slight discoloration from the assembly oil. Oil was pretty clean, so I think we're okay. So oil's drained out. I'm gonna pop the filter off, put the new one on, and then I'm gonna fill it up with our 6 quarts of VR1. I'm gonna clear out the passenger seat and probably prop you guys up and we'll go for a drive, and then that's gonna be it for this video. Oh, I gotta lock the distributor down too. Just do that. Oh, the best of the best. Well, there is AMS oil, but I'm running VR1. 6 quarts. Yep. Want to see? Alright, crappy tripod in the passenger seat video. Alright, let's go for a drive. Uh-oh. was it weigh? God, it's got so much more power. I'm gonna check for leaks real quick. All right, y'all. I gotta go get dinner. I need to eat. I'm gonna go drive this thing. It's not leaking anything. It's bone dry. It's running good now. I think the choke was kind of on a little bit, so that's once it warmed up again, it kicked off and it's running good now. Definitely gonna be putting Sniper EFI on this at some point. But she is alive and she is feisty. I barely have to touch the gas to get it going. Yeah, it's got a lot of pep. I'm gonna go get dinner. I'll see you guys later.